Welcome back, everyone. Now let's get right to it with our first franchisor presentation, Twin Peaks. I would like to welcome Glenn Moon. Glenn, thank you for being here today. We are very excited about your presentation.
So, you're curious about what we've been up to recently. Well, to say it's been an adventure of game-breaking proportions would be selling it short. So we want to walk you through the Twin Peaks pillars that are essential to our brand and drive all of our marketing initiatives. Twin Peaks Girls. The Twin Peaks all-female wait staff is considered the beautiful face of our brand. They represent the gold standard for the industry and are prominently featured in everything we do, from social media to Miss Twin Peaks to the annual Twin Peaks calendar. When guests think of Twin Peaks, the first thing that comes to mind is our friendly, attractive, and attentive Twin Peaks Girls. 29-degree draft beer. The most unique and marketable aspect of the Twin Peaks brand is something every man can appreciate. Our signature 29-degree draft beer, a claim no other restaurant can make. Served in perfectly frosted man-sized mugs, our rotating selection of fan favorites and in-house brews are the guests' trusted companion in victory or defeat. The Lodge environment. It's no secret that when anyone visits a Twin Peaks restaurant, they're immediately transported to an environment reminiscent of the comfortable cabin in the mountains. With natural wood tones and tasteful taxidermy, guests feel the familiar warmth any lumberjack would expect when walking into their local lodge. Our Scratch Kitchen. Twin Peaks never bunts when it comes to our menu. Whether you're strapped for time and just need to satisfy your hunger with a quickie lunch, looking for a happy hour cocktail, or a delicious, fulfilling dinner, our guests can expect made-from-scratch menu items. The Twin Peaks Kitchen not only sets the standard for scratch food, but also makes innovation a priority. Our consistent innovations like the Smoker program are constantly pushing the culinary limits and are capable of satisfying the voracious appetite of any Axeman. Sports. Twin Peaks may be unique in its environment, but we have always been the go-to game day destination for every fan. Because when it comes to sports, there is no substitute. Our customers come to Twin Peaks for many reasons, and the ability to see several giant screens exclusively dedicated to sports from any seat is second to none. We are always looking to create new, exciting, and rewarding experiences for the guests who choose to watch the game with us. These brand pillars led us to the Lodge mentality, a strategic brand campaign to remind every lumberjack, myself included, that Twin Peaks is more than just a sports lodge. It is the neighborhood destination where anyone can unapologetically indulge in all of their manly pursuits. Moving forward, we know that the Twin Peaks vision is to be a billion-dollar global brand with a cult-like following by the year 2029. Well, it is our goal to do everything in our power to continue elevating and strengthening the brand in order to achieve this vision. We want to inspire that inner lumberjack within everyone, from our internal teams to our guests, to embrace the Lodge mentality. We will not stop, we will not fail, and we will not falter.
Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you guys jumping on and getting to learn a little bit about Twin Peaks and some of our colleagues that are also here on this call. I tell you, I couldn't be happier to be batting the leadoff today. Never got that opportunity in high school. It's too slow. Really excited to share my thoughts about our brand. Very proud of the company. I thought I knew what I was getting into when I joined Twin Peaks and Joe and his team back in February. I had no idea. It's like drinking from a fire hose. It doesn't look like it's going to let up one bit either. So anybody can attest that works in this office. You work for this company, you got to pull your hat down, bootstrap, seat belt, and then you got to keep your hands and feet in the right at all times. You're going to lose them. As you can see, I think what's largely made us successful is staying true to our brand pillars, the beer, obviously the box itself, our talent, the food, and sports. We aren't going to be, nor are we trying to be, everything to everyone. We've demonstrated that what we've brought to market to this point has been very successful. It's generating huge profits, both for our corporate stores and for our franchisees. We'll continue to focus and be excellent in each of those 5 areas. If you want to have the coldest, freshest, tastiest beer in the marketplace, you've got to have a best-in-class system, and we do. And then you've got to source, a mug that will freeze and won't crack when you put 29-degree beer in it. In each of our stores, we stock somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 mugs because we only use that mug once. Once you serve that beer to one of our guests and it's completed, that mug goes back into its little life cycle of being cleaned and going through the freezing process all over again. The lodge environment, for whatever reason, people just gravitate to this mountain lodge feel. It doesn't make any sense to me why people in Florida from all walks of life will walk into a lodge environment and they're in tank tops and flip-flops and they're sitting underneath a caribou head or a buffalo head or an elk head. But those are our most successful franchise restaurants. They're in South Florida eating chicken wings and burgers in flip-flops and tank tops. We get to our talent. Of course, the Twin Peaks girls, those are highly trained professionals. And it's difficult. It's very competitive to get a spot on that floor. They do very, very well. The food, we offer made from scratch menu, and that ranges anywhere from salmon to pot roast to blackened fish tacos, salads. It's not just the burgers, the wings, and the fries. And then last but not least is sports. We are a sports lodge. We spend anywhere from $350,000 to $400,000 on that AV system. And that's to ensure that every guest that goes into one of our stores has an opportunity to have a view from their seat of 5 different high definition TVs. So if you go in there on a Sunday and you want to watch NFL football, you may have the opportunity to watch 5 different games without having to get out of your seat or turn your chair around. And so we've been largely effective in accomplishing that. Another thing about our brand, there's a few things about our brand, but something that really surprised me is it does have a very broad appeal. Although the lion's share of our customers are men, I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. When I go to some of our openings around the country, I walk in and I see, I'll see a table full of women, and they may not be drinking beer, they may be drinking wine or cocktails, but they're having a good time. And then there's been other stores that I've gone into. We had an opening recently in Kentucky, and in that store for opening, it was mostly families. And all the way from dad, mom, teenage kids, toddlers down to baby carriers. So very broad brand appeal. That obviously helps go into markets where there's a lot of density and a lot of different walks of life. Another thing about our brand that I think is unique, not entirely unique, but fairly unique, is we also brew some of our own beer at our brewery in Irving, Texas. We offer a Dirty Blonde, which is a white ale. We offer Drop Dead Redhead, which is an amber ale, a Naughty Brunette, which is a brown ale. And then last but not least, Twin Peaks Light, which is an American light lager, similar to like a Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Light, Ultra, what have you. And then we also have, a reserve list that offers premium liquor. It's called Grandpa's Stash, and that's available upon request. And you can get bourbons like Blanton's, Weller's, E.H. Taylor, Russell's Reserve, and more. We also offer premium scotch, whiskey, and tequila. In some markets where we have cigar bars, we even have our own branded cigars that you can buy in the store, as well as kind of the mainstream brands that you would get out in the marketplace, like Cohibas, Macanudos, and Padrones. In a couple of weeks, October 4th, we're opening our first store in Fargo, North Dakota. And in that store, we're putting in 2 Topgolf swing suites. I think what you see here is that, we want to provide a unique and memorable experience for every guest in every location, whether you're in Dallas, Texas, or, Barcelona, Spain. As I mentioned, I joined here in February. That was after about 17 years in the lodging business. And man, I couldn't be more excited to be with a brand and be the beneficiary of a vision and the innovation of Randy DeWitt and Scott Gordon when they launched this thing in 2005, opened that store in Louisville, Texas. In less than 10 years, Twin Peaks was dubbed America's fastest growing restaurant chain by Bloomberg, and then #1 by Knapp-Track in 2017. You had Joe and his team come over in late 16, early 17. I think that's been the tipping point for this brand. I think it's clearly been the tipping point for this brand. They came in and tripled the value of this company, really without adding a single incremental location to the portfolio. That's all sales. So kudos to them. I'm really glad that I was able to come in and help these guys. And then if you haven't heard the news, we were recently picked up by FAT Brands out of California. Clearly, Andy and his team saw the value in Twin Peaks. They could see that we had a robust pipeline. They gobbled us up, add us to their existing portfolio of 14 brands. Going forward, sure there'll be opportunities for greater efficiency, certainly buying power. But for now, they've pledged to kind of watch our six, make sure we get to $1 billion in sales by 2027. Just a little more feedback. I think everybody's interested when things like this happen to see what the new owner intends to do. Our last 7 openings, we've exceeded AUVs of $6 million. Prevailing thought from the executive leadership at FAT is that we're pulling all the right levers, kind of hitting our stride, and we're reaching our full potential. And they want to ride this wave as long as possible with as little disruption as possible from any forces. This is what we look like right now. We've got 81 restaurants domestically. We've got 2 more internationally. We have a chance to execute another 25 to 30 domestic licenses and another 45 internationally before the end of the year. That said, you can see there is still a ton of opportunity for more growth in the United States. We only have 2 stores on the West Coast. We don't have any in the Northeast, and those are the densest areas of our country. So we really haven't even dipped our toes in the water in the densest areas of this country. I expect we'll open another 5, maybe 6 more stores this year, on track to open another 20 to 25 next year. That number's fairly fluid. It kind of amounts to the number of second generation buildings that we can get, where we can get quicker openings, get these things going. Conversions make up about 70% of our portfolio. Hopefully that won't change anytime soon. There seems to be enough inventory out there, in part due to COVID, unfortunately. We can benefit from that. But with conversion, particularly where the cost is associated with new construction, you don't have the risk of entitlements. The financing, because it's more expensive, is a little more strict. And of course, construction risk. Supply chain's been really difficult on us. So that's been a real focus for the brand. It's the one that gives us the path of least resistance to get to 250 stores and $1 billion in sales. What you can see here is a conversion of a TGI Fridays in Knoxville. Just like to point out that we were able to keep this building. It looks significantly different just by using lighting. We added a patio over here, 750 to 1,000 square feet. We kept the tower of the building, enhanced it with stacked stone, put this lodge-like parapet on top, and then of course the lighting that you can see here. But we've converted, Claim Jumpers, Logan Steakhouse, Smoky Bones, Macaroni Grills, Luby's Cafeterias, Champs, Houlihan's, Bennigan's, and even an office building. Right now we're looking at an old ice house that was built in the 20s along the Gulf Coast, as well as an abandoned church in New Orleans. It's kind of amazing what we can do with this lodge motif in almost any building. We've got a great DNC crew here, very innovative, committed. This is Johnny Carino's down in San Marcos. Kind of same thing. You can see we were able to keep the facade largely. We were able to tack on our scissor trusses and get that lodge look and feel from the exterior. Put in a larger dining room over here, and then expanded the patio beyond the chimney to get more seats into this restaurant. And then the future of Twin Peaks. We're not done yet. I think one of the things that makes this such a great company is we're always innovating. We're always value engineering, and we're trying to find an attractive value engineered box that delivers that one-of-a-kind experience. So just stay tuned and see what we come out with. Here's some testimonials from some of our existing licensees. You can see at the top, our Arizona licensees, they have 4 stores that are open and operating in the greater Phoenix area. I think their 2 most recent openings are doing more than 150 a week. And they just added an additional 3 licenses to their existing development agreement. They'll be breaking ground next spring on a 10,000 square foot location in North Phoenix. Paul Quarry, he's our licensee up in Kansas City. He's got 6 locations, starting on another one here soon. And then Victor, our licensee up in Michigan. He's starting on a store late 4th, early first quarter of next year in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and looking for more, as many as he can get. You can see my colleague, John Briscoe here. He's running international development. He's just getting going. Like I said, he's got an opportunity to do 45 before the end of the year. We're kind of all gas, no brakes. We're seeking seasoned multi-unit developers, operators with a desire to build a territory ranging from 3 to 12 locations. Capital required to do one of our restaurants, anywhere from $2 to $3 million on a conversion, $6 to $7 million for a new build. Obviously, those are very fluid numbers. Every jurisdiction is different. The supply chain is all over the map these days. Same can be said for labor. And then you just got to hope you're not in front of a greedy landowner. We feel like we can get a conversion up in less than 4 months, if everything goes according to plan, and inside of 9 months on a new construction. Again, depending on the jurisdiction and all those sorts of things. So thank you so much for sticking around. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. If not, feel free to reach out to John or myself going forward. And love to have you part of the Buffalo Plaid family. So it does look like we have a couple of questions. First one is, what are your biggest marketing obstacles right now? I think where marketing's concerned, I don't even know that they're obstacles as much as, I think, and this is true for any company, as much capital as you can throw at marketing. The world's your oyster. We have such a great team, and they're so committed. They've been with the company 16, 17 years. They know what levers to pull. We've got great partners that we work with for media buys and placement, and search engine optimization, and things like that. We spend most of our time on the local marketing. We're not doing big national buys and ads and things of that nature. So from my seat, I don't see a lot of obstacles, which may not answer your question. What makes a good conversion for a prospective building? I think really just having enough square feet. I think we've demonstrated all along we can take a smaller building. We're doing so right now with a TGI Fridays here in the local Dallas market. It was only around 5,000 square feet. We were able to blow out a wall, pour more concrete, and get 6,000, 6,500 square feet into that building. The lodge look and feel is not as complicated as it might seem once you're in the restaurant. Again, we've got such a great team in design and construction. I'm not creative. I'm blown away about what they're able to do with some of these buildings. So we just need square footage. We like to have volume in the building. To get that lodge feel, you want to have volume in the room. So higher ceilings would be great. And then, of course, you got to have enough parking. We want to get 300, 350 seats in these restaurants. You got to have 150 spots. Always great to have good visibility, ingress, egress. But we'll look at anything as long as it's in the right market and we can justify making a good business decision. We'd love to see it. The other question we have here is how can we make other restaurants, say Fridays, Mac Grill, what have you, look more like a Twin Peaks? I think you could see in some cases just putting that scissor truss with the Twin Peaks logo and the uplighting, using materials like wood and rock or other stone, and then putting artifacts in the building like canoes or fishing rods or mounts. Those things all contribute to a great environment. And again, for whatever reason, people love to be in that, whether they're in South Florida or Fargo, North Dakota. And that looks like that's about it. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to myself or John. We'd love to bring you aboard. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Glenn. We really appreciate you being with us. Stay tuned, everyone. Our next presentation will be starting at 10:45.